Good afternoon, everyone. The meeting for the Assembly Committee on Growth and Infrastructure will now come to order. Will the committee secretary please call the roll?
Assemblywoman Brown May.
Here.
Assemblyman Ellison.
Present.
Assemblyman Levitt.
Here.
Assemblyman Miller.
Present.
Assemblywoman Peters.
Here.
Assemblyman Roberts.
Oops. Here.
Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong.
Here.
Assemblyman Watts.
Here.
Assemblyman Wheeler.
Here.
Assemblyman Yeager.
Here.
Chairman Roe Moreno.
And I am here. I'd like to welcome everyone to today's Assembly Committee on Growth and Infrastructure's meeting. Today should be a really easy day. We only have a work session. You guys will love me for this. Probably later in this session, we'll be here late, but today should be easy. For everyone watching us, by now you all know that our meetings are virtual. Everyone is participating either through Zoom or online. You can participate in our public comment by linking on to Analyst. You can do that at the end of our meeting, submit your comments, or you can submit your comments in writing to this committee up to 48 hours after today's meeting. In order to allow as many people to testify and make comments as possible, we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. For committee members, please keep your cameras on and mute any of your electronics. It helps to keep the noise level down for accurate minutes. For committee secretary and those watching, if you see a member pop in and out, we are at that time during the legislative session where members are either presenting their own bills in other committees or have work sessions where they're hoping their bills get out of that committee. So please excuse them and understand it's part of the process. So with that, we will open our work session on Assembly Bill 150, which revises provisions related to punitive actions concerning special license plates. I'll now invite our committee policy analyst to discuss the measure.
Thank you, Chairman Roe Moreno. For the record, my name is Katie Seaman, S-I-E-M-O-N, Committee Policy Analyst with the Research Division at the Legislative Council Bureau. Assembly Bill 150 was first heard in this committee on March 4th, 2021. It's sponsored by this committee on behalf of the Commission of Special License Plates. Assembly Bill 150 provides that if the Department of Motor Vehicles suspends the production and distribution of special license plates and the collection of fees collected on behalf of a charitable organization due to its failure to comply with laws, the department is required to inform the organization of the corrective actions that must be taken to end the suspension. If a charitable organization does not complete the corrective actions following this notice, the department may extend the suspension once. If the charitable organization does not complete the corrective actions, or if the department does not terminate the suspension following the corrective actions, the department has 2 additional options. They may either terminate the production and distribution of the special license plate and terminate the collection of the additional fees collected on behalf of the charitable organization, or they may distribute the additional fees to a different charitable organization that meets certain requirements. There have been no amendments received for this measure, and there are no associated fiscal notes. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee members, is there any discussion on this measure before I ask for a vote? Seeing none, then at this time, I will entertain a motion from the committee for due pass.
So moved, Madam Chair.
All right, I'll do the second then.
Okay. I have a first from Assemblyman Wheeler, a second from Assemblyman Watts. Any discussion?
Assemblyman Watts just wasn't quite quick enough.
Seeing no discussion, I will ask our committee secretary to conduct the vote. Remember to say yes or no on the roll call vote. Thank you.
Assemblywoman Brown May,
Yes.
Assemblyman Ellison,
Yes.
Assemblyman Levitt,
Yes.
Assemblyman Miller,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Peters,
Yes.
Assemblyman Roberts,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong,
Yes.
Assemblyman Watts,
Yes.
Assemblyman Wheeler,
The chairman said to say yes or no, so I will say, okay, yes.
Assemblyman Yeager,
Yes.
Chairman Roe Moreno.
And I am a yes. And the motion passes, and I will assign the floor statement to Assemblyman Wheeler. And with that, I will close the work session on AB 150 and open our work session on AB 154, which revises provisions governing certain notice provided by public utilities. With our policy analyst, go ahead and explain the measure.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, Katie Seaman, Committee Policy Analyst. Assembly Bill 154 was first heard before this committee on March 4th, 2021. It was presented by Assemblyman Roberts and Judy Stokey, a representative from NV Energy. Assembly Bill 154 authorizes a public utility to provide any notice it is required to provide to a customer electronically if the customer requests such transmission and if the public utility is capable of providing the notice electronically. Public utilities may also provide notices of each quarterly rate adjustment electronically to customers. There is no associated fiscal note with this measure. There has been one amendment received from NV Energy, which revises notice requirements to lessen printing costs and make notices sent electronically more readily apparent to consumers. The amendment follows this bill page. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, I hope you had an opportunity to look over the amendment. Are there any discussions before I ask for a motion to amend do pass? Any discussion on this measure? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass AB 154.
I motion to amend and do pass AB 154.
I have a motion from Assemblyman Miller. May I get a second?
Second.
I have a second from Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong. All right, then I will ask our committee secretary to please call the vote.
Assemblywoman Brown May,
Yes.
Assemblyman Ellison, Assemblyman Levitt,
Yes.
Assemblyman Miller,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Peters,
Yes.
Assemblyman Roberts,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong,
Yes.
Assemblyman Watts,
Yes.
Assemblyman Wheeler,
Yes.
Assemblyman Yeager,
Yes.
Chairman Roe Moreno.
And I am a yes, and that motion passes. I will assign the floor statement for AB 154 to Assemblyman Roberts. And with that, we will close the work session on that bill and open the work session on our final bill of the day, which is Senate Bill 29, which authorizes the appointment of an agent of the Department of Motor Vehicles to issue salvage titles. I will now turn things over to our committee policy analyst to discuss the bill.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, Katie Seaman, Committee Policy Analyst. Senate Bill 29 was sponsored by the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure on behalf of the Department of Motor Vehicles. It was first heard before this committee on March 4th, 2021, where it was presented by the Department of Motor Vehicles. Senate Bill 29 allows the Department of Motor Vehicles to enter into contracts appointing a person to act as its agent in the issuance of salvage titles and the collection of associated fees, provided the person meets certain qualifications. Qualifications include submittal of fingerprints and posting of a bond of not less than $50,000. The department may conduct audits and investigations of such agents as it deems appropriate. There were no amendments submitted to this measure. It requires a 2/3 majority vote on the assembly floor. 2 fiscal notes have been received, one from the Department of Motor Vehicles and one from the Department of Public Safety. Both fiscal notes show no fiscal impact. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, is there any discussion on the measure at hand before we go to a vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Assemblyman Ellison?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to vote yes, but I'm going to reserve my rights. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And members, please know that you all have the right to change your vote on the floor. However, what I do ask is if you are going to change your vote from what you're doing here today in this committee, you please let me know before it goes to a vote on the floor. I would appreciate that. Is there any other comments or discussions on this measure? Seeing none, I will ask our committee secretary to call the vote.
Assemblywoman Brown May,
Yes.
Assemblyman Ellison,
Yes.
Assemblyman Levitt,
Yes.
Assemblyman Miller,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Peters,
Yes.
Assemblyman Roberts,
Yes.
Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong,
Yes.
Assemblyman Watts,
Yes.
Assemblyman Wheeler,
Yes.
Assemblyman Yeager,
Yes.
Chairman Ro Moreno.
And I am a yes. However, to the committee members and our committee secretary, I failed to ask for a motion and a second before we went to the vote. I apologize for that. Thank you all for playing along. I appreciate the vote. However, we did not have a motion or a second on the vote we just had. So we are going to have to go back for record's sake. And I need to take a motion and a second on Senate Bill 29.
Madam
Mr.
Chair,
Watts.
Okay, I heard Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong first and Assemblyman Watts as a second, correct?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I will not labor you all to take a revote since you have voted. Is there anyone who would wish to change their vote now that there is a first and a second? That I will ask. Okay, seeing none, the motion passes and I will close the work session for Senate Bill 29. I'm almost perfect. I'm that close from being perfect. So with that, that brings us up to our last item on our agenda for today, and that will be public comment. So I will ask our broadcast staff if we have anyone in our virtual waiting room waiting for public comment.
Chair, the public comment line is open and working. However, we have no callers at this time.
All right. Well, thank you all. This might be our shortest meeting in history. Thank you to our broadcast staff and all of you for showing up. And for those of you that have a work session or bill presentation, you got out of here in time to go do that. Our next meeting for the Assembly Committee on Growth and Infrastructure will be on Tuesday, March 23rd at 1:30, where we'll have another work session. I will see you all then. Enjoy the remainder of your day and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Madam Chair.